Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're here with another video, and today we're going to be covering light weapons. Now,
top in the chimney.
Light weapons are interesting because they're not really interesting, that's why. But they're the most common weapon type in the game because there are six light weapons in comparison to pretty much every other weapon class, which varies from about 4 to 3. So let's go over the worst. Well, actually, what the fuck am I talking about? I gotta start the video properly. Ammo. Didn't mean to do that. Ammo. So it stacks up to 60. However, each box is 20. Okay, don't read that one. That one's incorrect. Specs supposed to be 20 per box, and you can stack it up 3 times, obviously, making it have 60. Again, same thing like I said before. I don't know why it wasn't 30 rounds. It just stacks twice, like most things. It is the same as heavy ammo. They don't share the same ammo type. However, they do share the same capacity and pickup. So if you're trying to gauge whether to pick up a Prowler or a alternator, it's really whatever you're more comfortable with, if that makes sense. Your ammo capacity doesn't really matter in that situation. So let's start off with, in my opinion, the worst light weapon in the game.
P2020 here. Standard issue because it's dependable.
That is like the biggest fucking lie of all time. This thing is garbage. Dependable, sure. Is it really all that good? No. 13 damage. That's pretty bad. If this thing did like 20 damage per shot, then we might be talking about like one of the best weapons in the game. Hell, even 15 damage per shot, this thing would be even better, obviously. I mean, 2 damage doesn't sound like that much, but you know, after you land like 5 shots, you just did an extra 10 damage. And but I understand why they did it, because there's a specific mod that you can get on this pistol which can make it sort of better, but not by much, in my opinion. So 13 damage per shot. That's body, obviously. Headshot 20. That's my issue with this thing, though. That's why I don't like it. 20 damage for a critical. It doesn't even double the actual damage, which should be doing 23. It only does 20, which is kind of weird. I mean, you're literally having to use 10 bullets. That's criticals. Fucking critical. 10 shots is a critical to kill someone. That is way too much for a pistol. Well, not that it's too much for a pistol, however, it's too much in the sense that this pistol is a single fire. There is no full auto version of this thing. See, that's my issue with it. And I guess I should probably go over the mod, which is Hammer Point. I covered this thing with the Mozambique because it shares the same mod. So as it reads, obviously, increase unshielded damage.
Gotta hop up here. Hammer Point.
So basically, if you break a shield, your next shot after the shield breaks, you're doing a lot more damage, like significantly more. Like, I mean, we're talking about more than double. However, you're still using a lot of bullets. And that's at close range. The farther you get back, I mean, yeah, this thing is not really that good by any means. I mean, it is accurate, I will give it that. but for pretty much for most reasons, the thing isn't really that good. But I guess it's depending on how you use it. By the way, currently have it modded with hammer points and extended light mag, which I do believe. Remove this. Yeah, 10 bullets. Yeah. Basically, this entire mag. $200 damage. That's crit. 130 otherwise. So, if you were wondering, there you go. This thing is pretty much fucking garbage without extended mag and hammer point. That's why I say it is the worst weapon for light ammo. Even by pistol standards, this is the worst pistol in the game, in my opinion. So yeah, that's I guess that's my opinion. So moving on to the next pistol, which is the RE45.
RE45 here. High rate of fire, not much kick.
Exactly. That's why this thing is probably one of the best weapons in the game, because of the high rate of fire. Currently running level 4 barrel stabilizer, threat detection, so soap. What the fuck? Scope or sight, whatever you fucking want to call. And then a tier 3 barrel stabilizer, or I should be. No. What the fuck? No, tier 4 barrel stabilizer and a tier 3 extended light mag. My bad. Yeah. So this thing is pretty good. I mean, 12 damage. It's 1 point less than the P2020, which, I mean, who fucking cares, really? And I'll explain why. Because crit, it's 18, which is 2 damage less than the P2020. But, like I said, who cares when you can do this? Yeah. Like I said, who cares? 300 damage per magazine. That's 100 extra. I think, yeah, or something like that. Whatever. This thing is, it's pretty good. If you're just dropping in and you pick this up, it'll do pretty good. I mean, it's fairly accurate too. I mean, hip fire. Tap fire, I guess. It's okay. It's not bad. Definitely a gun you want a ADS though. But nonetheless, still better than the P2020. That thing is fucking horribly bad. I guess we're going on to what I guess would be the third worst weapon for light ammo, and that is the alternator. Now, I don't think I've ever checked this, and since this is a whole video about me going over weapon types and shit, I guess I probably should check if this thing has a firing pattern or not, which I don't think it does, but I mean, I could find out, I guess. That's the whole point, right? Yeah, it looks kind of the same as most of the other firing patterns. Not really a true firing pattern, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it basically just takes up to the right. Not really anything you can counter against. Hip fire. Now, hip fire is interesting. But anyways, alternator. So, here's the thing with the alternator. It kind of has 2 barrels. This thing I do believe was... Oh, I probably should mention, because I do this in every video. I'll just do it before I forget it. In Titanfall, in Titanfall, in Titanfall, in Titanfall, in Titanfall, in Titanfall. Alright. So, now that's out of the way. So, the alternator technically has like 2 barrels. not in the same way as like the triple take has like multiple like barrels, but it's that it has like these little like, I guess you call them charging handles, because it's kind of what they are, even though it's weird because it's not a charging handle for this thing. It has one on each side. Like if you look, it swaps, it alternates like an alternator. So that's why it has like two, and that's why it also shares the same kind of like crosshair as, fuck, I can't think of the name. The Flatline. And it's because of that. Probably helped if I stood still, you know. This thing is pretty accurate. Probably one of the better, like, if you can, like, pick it up, like, beginning game. This thing could, for the most part, get you all the way to late game. And it's pretty good. Pretty much all the sights work well on this thing. I can't really say that any of them are bad. Well, I mean, you can't equip these because they're mid-range and like LMG AR sights, but for the sake of this video, we use a tier 4 threat detection. So let's look at it. Damage, 15 damage per shot, which is where I wish the P2020 was, but it is not. Yeah, 15 damage per shot. Full magazine. 19 damage, or 15 damage, 19 bullets. I think I... Okay, yeah, 285. That's enough to kill a player with a full tier 3 or tier 4 shield. Even if they have a fully upgraded Evo, because that's in the game, I forget to mention that, but in most cases you won't run into like an Evo.
Oh, Painless knocking at the door.
That's probably a horrible idea. Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Smoke out. Repeat on last.
It's World War II all over again. Anyways. But yeah, this thing, it's just pretty good. 15 damage per crit, or per body shot. 23 per crit. I understand why this doesn't do double damage for headshots, because this thing would be broken otherwise. I mean, it is for like an SMG. It's pretty good. It could have a higher fire rate, but I understand why it doesn't. That's because there's another SMG on this list, which I guess we'll talk about right now. The R99 SMG, right? So this thing, you'll see like pretty much all the fucking pros use this thing because it is pretty much that good. However, I say this thing is comparable to a shotgun in the sense that if you're using this thing at mid-range, you're gonna have a bad time. 11 damage per shot for crit, 17. Like I said, not that much, but the fire rate on this thing is what makes it a man killer, right? And that's why I say it's a good close range weapon. I mean, that'll break a shield really quick and down someone pretty quick too. I mean, like, look, almost 100 damage. I mean, that was like 9 bullets, right? That was 10. 10 shots kills, will break a shield, or if they don't have a shield, it'll down them with a little bit extra damage on it. So, yeah, that's pretty much this. I currently have it kitted. Level 3 stock, level 4 barrel, threat detection, and level 3 magazine. Standard magazine is kind of dumb, in my opinion. Yeah, 20 rounds. I mean, it's 11 damage per shot, so yeah, 220. Again, that's still enough to break a shield without having to like reload. Whoa, that's still enough to break a shield and kill someone, or down them at least, without having to reload with a little, you know, spare change on the side, I guess. Then we have the next weapon on the list, which this isn't my top 2 favorites from the light weapons, and it's the R301. This is the assault rifle variant of the R99. It is also, there's another variant of the R weapons, and it happens to be over here in the sniper rifles, and it is the DMR longbow. This is part of the same weapon class, just a different variant, and it's for sniping. I don't think I mentioned that in that video, but now you know. I do enjoy the iron sights in this thing, by the way. They're pretty good. Damage, this thing's pretty good. 14, not horrible, not too bad either. 14, like I said. Headshot or crit, 28. You know, you just doubled the damage. This thing is a good player killer, 100%. I didn't do this earlier because I'm dumb. I have to find a place to. Guess this will do right here. That's pretty controllable, I guess. That's pretty controllable too. But yeah, that's the recoil patterns. Nothing like too insane. Sights for this, mid-range. I don't like mid-range on this weapon, honestly. However, or the Ranger, I should say. The mid-ranger. Yeah, I know, it's a horrible joke. It works well on the gun. I just don't like it on this gun. I would much rather have this. The variable hollow is okay. The bruiser is really good. Pretty much any of these other sights can be good. But yeah, it's up to you. It's one of those things. Not really much I can really talk about this weapon that much, because everyone should pretty much know how good this thing is. If you don't, where have you been, you know? It's a really good gun, regardless.
Smoke out.
Now on to the Scout. I had no clue this thing had that much range.
Up in the chimney.
Hold on. Wow. That thing is long as fuck. Okay. So this is the G7. This gun, personally my favorite out of the light weapons. I do like the R301 a lot, and I do appreciate the R99 and the alternator. They're all good guns. However, this takes the cake. This has always been a light weapon, by the way. And I do believe Hold on, I want to make sure. So they did buff it, yeah. It used to do 30 damage per shot, if I remember. I distinctly remember this thing doing 30 damage. It's now just 34. Crits. 59. That's pretty good. It's not double, but I mean, you know, you are doing more damage per shot, I guess. It's also a good spam fire weapon too. Pretty much any of these sights can work well on it. It's up to you what you want. I personally do like the AOG and the variable hollow because it looks like an SPX that way. It just looks like one. Now it does have a mod, which is double tap. Again, we talked about this with the EVA 8. Now this is where this gun actually becomes pretty strong. So, you know that 34 damage from before? 68. That's almost 70 damage. You pretty much have almost no, like, shield left if you have any. Or health, depending if you don't have a shield, or depending on what kind of shield you have. Now, crit. 120. Yeah. Things literally, if you land a crit shot with the double tap, it is a 2-shot. Now, if it wasn't obvious, it'd be a 4-shot. Otherwise, body shots 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 extra shots that way. But, I mean, for the most part, you want to be killing them as fast as possible. This is definitely one of the better guns in the game, in my opinion. I mean, this is like debatably long range right here. Like, you can still stomp with this thing. I mean, we're all the way back up here at the entrance, like. I mean, yeah, there's like no debate on this thing. I know, I did say I like the sights on it. However, the iron sights are pretty good too. They make it a good, kind of mid-range. Kind of good close range weapon too. But yeah, this thing is, even without the double tap, this thing's still a beast. I love this thing back in Titanfall. I had an entire build around it. It's still a really good gun, even in this game. But yeah, that's pretty much every weapon in the game that I've done, and that's the light weapons too. I think the next video I'm going to do is on grenades, because the grenades have interesting types, and I would like to see different types of grenades, like newer types of grenades coming into the game. That would be cool to see. Or at least I think it would. But for right now, that's it. That's all the light weapons in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. Yeah, pretty much it.
Already on my mark, firing for effect. Giving him the chimney. Make it two.